This is the Doogee T10 tablet disassembly. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe and follow me on Twitter so you'll be notified once I upload a new video. And if you need any tools, there are links in the description. To start off, the SIM tray needs to be removed. Here's a better look at that. Next, you'll need to place a pry tool in between the back housing and the frame of the screen and run it along the edges to pop off the catches. Here's a better look at the aluminum back housing. There are also some antenna flex cables on the top plastic portion of the aluminum housing. And the reason for this portion being plastic is because the signal can't penetrate through the aluminum. Also, the second camera over here on the back is purely for aesthetic reasons, and it's not a functioning camera. As we can see on the other side, there's no opening or connection for that other camera. There are 5 protective tapes which need to be peeled off. The battery cable can be disconnected by just pulling it out. There's a latch or lock on this connector, which is a black piece that needs to be lifted up so the screen cable can be pulled out. To remove the camera assembly and headphone jack, there are 3 Phillips screws which need to be removed. Next, the latches or locks on the connectors need to be lifted up or unlocked so the flex cables can be removed. Here's a better look at the headphone jack. 2 more Phillips screws need to be removed, which are holding on the SIM reader, and the flex cable for that needs to be disconnected from the main board as well. Here's a better look at that. Now the flex cable for the 13 megapixel main camera and the 8 megapixel front facing camera can be removed. Here's a better look at the 13 megapixel main camera, and it does not have OIS or optical image stabilization. Next to is the LED flash, and here's the 8 megapixel front facing camera. The coaxial cables for the Wi-Fi antennas need to be disconnected from the main board. Now we can disconnect the latch for the touch digitizer flex cable. These cables for the speakers and this one for this piece, which I don't know exactly what it is, can be disconnected from the main board by just pulling them out. The vibrator motor is soldered to the main board, so we just need to lift it up out of its socket. We also need to disconnect the volume and power flex cable. There are 4 Phillips screws holding on the main board. Taking a closer look, we can see the charger port over here, which is soldered to the main board. Once the shield is removed, we can see there's a thermal pad which sits on top of the RAM, the ROM or storage, and processor. Here's a look at the other side of the board. There's some adhesive holding the battery down, and there are no pull tabs to help us pry it off, so in order to remove it, we'll need to use some isopropyl alcohol and apply it to the sides of the battery and let it sit there for about 30 seconds so it eats away at the adhesive underneath, making it easier to pry it off. Here's a better look at the 8300 mAh battery. The screen assembly is glued to the plastic border, but the plastic border can be pried off if you're planning on doing any type of screen repair. However, you'd have to re-glue the replacement screen assembly to the plastic border. Here's a connector for the screen, and this is the flex cable for the touch digitizer. So the touch digitizer glass can be replaced separately from the screen itself. There are 2 Phillips screws each holding on the speaker assemblies, as well as the Wi-Fi antenna. So if you need to replace those, all you'd have to do is remove those screws, and you can lift them up and remove them. For the repairability score, I give it a 3.5 out of 10. Now it's time to put it back together. Once everything's back in place, reapply the back housing. Then power it on, and you're done. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.